Hey, Las Vegas. Welcome back here to Vegas Realty Check, your local Las Vegas real estate news show. I am Trish Williams.
And I'm Mike Cruz.
We have our guest, Mike Cruz, with us today. I'm so sorry for the choppy introduction, Mike. Mike's returning guest, broker of Reside Real Estate. And Mike is here to do our market reports with us today. So we're excited for the show today, talk about everything that happened last month.
Yeah, good. It's a great day to be here. The market, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. We're starting to see some movement again, which is phenomenal because we had a couple weeks of silence,
Yes.
right? But we're seeing it already in the numbers. And before we open up with our market numbers today, I do want to give you a little show update. Tiana, our co-host that's been here with me for past couple years, she is sadly and happily moving on. She has taken an executive administrative assistant position with one of the top teams here in Vegas, and we are very excited for her. It was a great opportunity. We'll be having a clip air later today. That's her goodbye video out to our listeners. We are going to be having a new co-host join us in the coming weeks. She is Courtney Baum with JFK Financial, very versed in loans, and she's a loan officer, and she is going to be also, in addition to our weekly market inventory and real estate update, she's going to be providing us updates on what's going on in mortgages. So I think it's going to bring a lot of value to the show. We're excited about that, but we are sadly saying goodbye to Tiana and wish her the best. It's just scheduling conflicts, couldn't make it happen, and we are happy for her and her new journey. So if you guys are listening, shoot a comment. We'll make sure it gets to her, and I'm sure she will appreciate that. Yeah. So, Mike, let's get into our market numbers.
All right.
Yeah, you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So our market numbers for the week, let's start off with inventory. For inventory this week, we have 5,495 single-family homes on the market. That's a little bit low from last week.
Yeah, it's gone down a little bit, which is good to see after the couple weeks before.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And as we head into the holiday season, I think we're probably going to stay around that number.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that, definitely elections had people holding off on all of their real estate plans, regardless of what side that you're on. It's not a political statement. It's just a fact. People were holding off on moving forward with any of their plans because they wanted to see what's going on, and just the uncertainty of everything just had people halted. Now that that's behind us, we are seeing people move forward. They're moving on with whatever their plans are, but there's still some sellers that are saying, maybe I should wait till the beginning of the year to list.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. And as we hit this time of year, fourth quarter elections or not, there's always those people. People have things going on this time of year. They don't want to take the time to get the house ready right now. They want to wait. So I think we will see inventory rise a little bit in January and February probably. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, interest rates are what they are.
Yeah.
The good news is it looks like people are starting to accept it. And they're willing to make the move. People that have been waiting to buy a house, they've been waiting to buy a house for a couple of years now.
Yes.
And they're really getting antsy. And I think they've decided in a lot of cases, I know conversations I've had, especially in just the last 3 or 4 days, they're ready to make that move.
Yes, and the rates are definitely a factor. And what's going on now, Fed did another 0.25% decrease. So over the last couple months, we have had 0.75% decrease in the Fed rate. But what's been going on is the stock market's been kind of looking great. So people are taking money out of bonds, putting them in stocks, and that is making it to where the bond market is what's really going to affect those mortgage rates changing from the Fed rate.
That's what the consumers need to understand. Yes, the Fed's dropping the rates, but the mortgage rates don't actually work off the Fed. It works off the bond market, which in conjunction works off the stock market. So that's why rates are up from what they were even even 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Almost a full point. It's kind of
Yeah,
sad, but
and this morning I seen the stock market had dropped a little bit, so I'm hoping that does well for the bond market, and we'll start to see those rates come down
Right.
a little bit. Eventually, these Fed cuts will pour over into mortgage rates.
yes, at some point.
Yeah, we just don't really have a crystal ball to know when.
Right.
So that's, we're all waiting. But I do agree with you. There's been so many buyers that are on the sideline for the past 2 years that once those rates are attractive and gives them the opportunity to buy, we're going to see a market like no other.
I believe so.
It's going to be crazy out there. So there will be competition galore. I'm kind of not excited about the frenzy that will come up when that happens,
Right.
because all of these buyers that have been sidelined are going to jump in the market.
And if people are waiting for interest rates to drop, don't. There's ways to get the interest rates lower than what they are for you. I actually just did a video on it 2 days ago. It's on my business YouTube. So have a discussion with your agent.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
What's your business YouTube channel? Do you know it?
It is. Actually, my business YouTube channel is LV Real Estate.
Okay. No, that's easy to remember.
Yeah, and LV Homes by Mike on TikTok and Instagram.
All right, so check out those videos. See what he posted and his analysis on that. That'd be great. Single family so we just reported single family homes. Townhouses and condos have 1787 homes on the market right now.
It's high.
Yeah.
However, the condos in particular have been very high, and I'm not really understanding why. But those condos and townhomes, they are a first-time home buyer's best-case scenario.
Yeah.
Because that is affordable homes here in the Las Vegas Valley.
Yeah. What I'm seeing with a lot of older condos and townhomes is their HOA dues are just
Right.
astronomical.
Yes.
And I feel like that is definitely with the
hindrance,
rates, that's
yeah.
huge deterrence, and in some cases affects qualification.
Right.
But that's usually the older units. And the reason why in a lot of cases is the roofs. They cover the roofs, they cover all these things, and they're hitting that age of needing to be replaced.
Right.
And those are adding into the
And
assessments.
with that inventory number, it seems a little bit high, but it also includes a lot of new construction.
Yes.
There's a lot of standing inventory on townhomes right now with new construction, the home builders. All the builders are in the townhouse game right now. So
Yeah.
I think that's also why that number seems a little inflated.
Yes, and the builders are doing rate incentives still. We locked someone in at a 3.99 FHA.
I did also a couple weeks ago, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you are able to get some really good rates with those builders. So for the week, we have new listings are 836 that hit the market this week.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's across everything. Back on the market, we have 154. So those are homes that fell out of escrow and are trying again.
Right. And it happens. There's a little bit of flux in the general economy at the moment.
Yeah.
And when that happens, people get cold feet, they change jobs, they buy a car. It happens.
They buy a car.
And they can no longer buy a house.
Yeah, or I'm seeing a lot of, just our market is very, I don't know if we're specifically in a buyer's market by numbers or by the data that they say is buyers or sellers market, but we have the feel of a
feeling.
buyer's market.
Yes.
So buyers are very finicky, and sometimes it's just negotiations on that repairs request, that the seller may have taken a lower offer or offered them a lot of concessions and then digs their heels in the sand when it comes to the repairs request, and the buyers are like, fine, I'll go find something else
Right.
because it's too easy to find something else right now. So price decreases are 98. Is that a correct number?
I think you're
That
probably
seems-
missing a zero
Yeah.
on the end there.
Yeah, I don't know what that number is. We'll have to look at that again next week. Under contract, we have 275 that are under contract as still able to show, and 428 that are under contract no showings. So that means the ones that are under contract as show are a lot of times contingent upon sale.
Right.
or some kind of like strong contingency where the seller's not feeling too confident in them.
Right, but those two numbers combined, almost 700, that's a good, healthy number. That means for the month, we're trending about 2,800 homes under contract.
Yeah.
That's actually a little bit higher than what we've seen over
Yeah.
the last month, so
Yeah,
That's
that
encouraging.
price, I'm sorry, that was a price increase was 98, not a price decrease. See, I don't have my glasses on, I can't see well. Price increase was 98. The price decreases are 814.
That
That
sounds more
sounds like
like
a more
it.
realistic number. I was like, what is going on here? So 814. So the price decreases are up. So what I think's happening there is the people that are once the elections have passed and they're starting to see the buyer activity increase, and I'm having these conversations with sellers too.
Right.
Now they're ready to do an adjustment that they may have put off for a little bit to motivate
Exactly.
and encourage buyers
We all
to.
knew it was a little slow going into the election, so they held off on the price decrease until afterwards.
Yes, absolutely. And that was definitely the conversations amongst many sellers during that time is don't even bother adjusting because there's nobody really out there.
Right.
Not many people out there, at least. Sold. We have 510 sold for the week, which is a pretty good number.
Right.
Essentially that would come up to 2,000, a little over
Just over
2,000 for the
2,000
month,
homes.
which is pretty good. My favorite number for solds in a month is 3,000. Just always been my favorite number. That's a really good market. 73 expired, 197 withdrawn. They just pulled their home off the market. So,
Right.
yeah. So that is our weekly numbers. Now let's get into our monthly market report. A couple things I jotted down here for our monthly market report before we go into the actual number. I want to just highlight on a couple things there. Sold. For the sold homes for the month, 57.1% of them are vacant. So that's a little over half of them. That is homes that were, a lot of times homes that are vacant are easier to sell than homes that are occupied.
And it's simply because of access. And a lot of home buyers, they don't like touring homes when there's somebody still living in the home. I know most of the time it can't be avoided that you have to live in your home until you sell. But so many times the buyers are apprehensive. They don't want to open closet doors, stuff like that. And they just have a hard time picturing themselves in the home.
Yes.
And it's much easier to do when it's vacant.
Absolutely, and sometimes they do staging on vacant homes, things like that, so those do make them more attractive. Also on that point, 2.4% were tenant occupied that were sold. That's a very small percentage. We've seen it a lot higher during stronger markets, but though same thing. A lot of times those tenants are still living in the home at the time that we're selling it.
And as difficult as it is to show an owner-occupied home, it's way worse for a tenant-occupied home.
Absolutely. The tenants do not have as much care
Right.
about getting the home sold as the
and
owner
in
does.
many situations, they prefer it didn't.
Yes, yes. Everybody, it's always a thing. I got asked even the other day, are foreclosures rising? And I did a search. I think there were 28 on the market, not a
Yeah,
lot of foreclosures
no.
on the market, and that was across every price point. 0.07% of the homes sold last month were foreclosures. And even less on short sales, which was
Right.
0.04%. So we're just not in a market where we're seeing a
People
lot of
still
those.
have plenty of equity in their homes. It hasn't been ripe for HELOCs or even refinances due to the higher rates. So people are just sticking what they have where they are.
Yes, yes. 40.5% of the homes that sold were owner occupied. And of all of those transactions, cash was at 20.8%, which was up from the month before.
That's a good, healthy number in my opinion.
For cash buyers, yes,
absolutely.
definitely. And that's, maybe people moving on with their plans, cashing out equity in another home, putting the cash down on a new home. And investors, they're still very prevalent in this market. Conventional, homes that sold with a conventional loan, that number surprised me because conventional rates are higher than FHA rates right right now.
They are, but when you look at the average price, we're like almost right at $500,000.
Yeah.
And an FHA can only go to 510.
Yeah.
So when the homes are a higher price, the conventional is really
Yeah.
what they're stuck with.
And conventional raised their loan limits over the last
Yes.
couple of months. So that is 49.5% sold conventional, which was up. 17.6% were FHA, which was down a little bit, and 9.7% were VA buyers.
Home buyers, if you are former military and you qualify for a VA loan, use it.
Yes, absolutely.
That is the best deal in the marketplace right now.
Especially in this market right now,
Yes.
because the VA loan is zero down.
Right.
And a lot of sellers are open to paying closing costs or
Right.
paying a lot of closing costs. And it's an item of negotiation, but a lot of sellers are open to the idea of it right now in this market. They're motivated enough to get it going. And that means you could like literally walk in with almost nothing out of pocket. And
Right.
that is, I mean, to get a home, you can't even get in a rental with that
No,
low of an
it's
amount.
an amazing deal.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So if you are a veteran, take advantage of that. Okay, so our units sold for the month of October, we have 1,918 sold. That's up 12.9%. Yeah.
Which, that's good. That shows the market's going in the right direction. That's still a low number in my opinion.
Very low.
Anytime it gets below 2,000, I do kind of freak out a little bit.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's going in the right direction, so I'm feeling good about it. And yeah, the buyers are out there right now, especially the last week.
Yeah, and our median price point of homes sold is up 5.9%, 475, 531.
So indication prices aren't coming down.
Yeah, I just I think I've got over the idea that prices
Yeah.
would come down because we haven't seen that happen. New listings hitting the market, 2,867 in the month of October. That was up 22.9%.
Yeah, and in the conversations I had with people, it was, do I wait to sell after the first of the year, or do I hurry up and list now and sell before we really get into the full holiday season? And I think really a lot of people chose to just go for it now.
Yeah, yeah. And it also depends on your motivation or your plans for selling.
Right.
Because if most sellers, the majority of sellers are selling and buying again.
Right.
You know, they're not, it's very seldom we see someone just sell a home and, you know, that's it. They turn into renters. It's not really common. So again, you want to sell your home while the buying market's still attractive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people selling and buying, they're going into new construction and they want to take advantage of those incentives that the builders are offering.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of the move-up homes right now are new homes
yeah.
because those rate buy-downs are very attractive.
Yeah.
And so 4.9, the median price point for new listings is $499,999,000. Let's just say 500.
Easier.
Yeah. So that's up 5.9%. So that is just our median price. And as you see, the sold price is a little bit under, I would say 25. That's kind of what, when buyers are saying, like, where should we make our offer or whatever,
Right.
I'm telling them around 20 to 25,000 seems to be the
magic number.
The magic number that's getting it in contract these days. Units available, those are up 37.3%. They ended off in October in single family at 5,784.
That's a good, healthy number. And as you alluded to earlier, is it technically a buyer's market? Probably not, but it's very close.
Well, they say over 3 months is a buyer's
Yeah.
market, and we are in a 3 month
months,
of units
okay.
available inventory. So we're there. We're on the
Yeah.
borderline of a buyer's market. So condos and townhomes, units sold were 540. So those were up 13.9%. Probably, as you mentioned earlier, a lot of those are new construction. Yeah. And median price home of those condos and townhome units, median price range of the condos and townhome units sold were $315,000, up 14.3%.
$315,000, that is a great, it's expensive, I know, when you think about it for a condo or a townhouse, but you're owning a piece of property for $315,000 here in 2024. And in a lot of places, you couldn't even think of doing that still.
Yeah, I mean, California.
Yeah.
That's why we get all the California buyers here. New listings, we have 830, which is up, that's up 5.9%. And median price range of those new listings is $301,500. I am surprised that number is, the median price range of new listings is lower than the units sold.
I think why is the units selling are townhomes and the units coming on the market are condos.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I would say the condo and townhome market is officially in October in a buyer's market because it's 3.3 months.
Yes.
So it's a little over
Yeah.
that 3 month.
No, as I mentioned, the builders have a lot of standing inventory on townhomes, and there's a few even that are classified as condos.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. A lot of, we do see a lot of those townhomes right now that have the garage, or they say they're condos, but they have garages. Some of them even have driveways and everything. It's basically a townhome. I have no idea what justifies the difference between a condo and a townhome. I've heard it's lot square footage.
I've heard varying factors. I sold one a couple months ago. To me, it was a townhouse. It had an attached two-car garage. And to me, if it has an attached garage and there's nobody above you or below you, to me, that's a townhouse. But
Yeah.
it was classified as a condo. And the only reason I could think is all the living space was on the second floor.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know what really
Yeah,
separates them.
I think I asked an assessor or somebody at the county one time, and they said it was lot square footage because
okay.
we're selling a home in a community, which there's a lot of those out there that have half of them say that they're townhomes and half say they're condos, and they like recorded the deeds
Right.
wrong. So it's confusing, but I just usually tell people when we're doing a search for condos or townhomes with a garage, and they say, "Oh, I just want a townhome," because they want the garage. I say, let's just put
look at
condos
both.
in there and add the garage filter because they're pretty much the same. So our days on the market. Less than 30 days sold. In October, we were at, I'm sorry, Mike, you have to read the number. It's a little too small for me.
Oh, okay. 7 days was 58.9%.
50, I thought that was a 5.
Yeah.
58.9%, that was sold in 30 days or less. And then our 30 days or more, those were at 20.9%. So
That's increased, and I think we're going to continue to see that increase, especially if inventory continues to go up a bit.
yes, and then we have 10.4%. Those were between the 60 and 90 days. That's not. We're still seeing the majority of the homes have been selling in less than 30
Yes,
days.
yeah.
So that's good there. And then it gets even lower. Going to 120 days was 5.3%, and 4.8% at 120 or more. So there's still buyers. There's still
There are.
buyers out there. And October was slower than most months have been. So that's good. And then we're almost the same where it comes to condos and townhomes. That's 58.4% were sold in less than 30 days.
That's a great number, actually.
Yeah, 20.8 at 30 to 60 days, and 9.6 at 60 to 90 days, and the up to 120 days was 5.7%. So very consistent with the single family numbers there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then number of closings, they were down, they were up 7.1% from, what was the month before October?
September.
September. Oh my gosh, I drew a blank. Those were up 7.1% from September, and they were up 12.9% from last year. So that's in the single family home market. That was 19 118 units closed at the end of the month, and those numbers were both up.
And that's encouraging. The market's absorbing the increase in inventory.
Yeah, absolutely. Median close price, that was again at 475, 531. That was only up 0.9% from September, and it was up 5.9% from last year. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's definitely showing that it's doing better, and we're performing better this year than we were last year at this time.
Definitely.
Yeah, even with it being an election season, that,
Right.
that
And we
surprises
felt
me.
it was totally dead for a couple weeks, and I was looking at the numbers every day. It wasn't really totally dead. We say that, but
It felt
homes were
dead.
still going into contract. Homes were still closing escrow. So, but yes, it did feel dead.
It felt dead. My phone was not ringing except for
Right.
election calls
Yeah.
and surveys.
And the text messages.
And the text messages. Oh my gosh. I was like, please just stop. So a number of new listings, those were up 1.3% from September. We closed out in October at 28.67%, up 22.9% from the year before of new listings hitting the market.
That's a good number, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, okay. And then the availability, at the end of October, we closed out at 5,784 units. That was up 6% from September, and that was up 37.3% from the year before. So that's the listings that were on the market, the availability,
Right.
and we've seen that.
But if a year ago we were complaining though that inventory was still too low.
Yeah.
So my personal favorite number on available units is right around that 4,000 mark.
Yeah.
To me, that's a real sweet spot. Your buyer can go in, get a little bit of a deal, but yet everything is still selling real quick.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I do prefer about this market is the buyers still have the opportunity to get some concessions and
Yeah.
things like that. When
Don't-
that goes away, it makes it tough.
Right. Don't let the interest rates scare you. Go in, ask for an incentive to buy your rate down.
And those sellers are a lot of times open to those incentives,
Absolutely.
open to things. They're pretty motivated out there on getting things moving. So the effective availability, at the end of the month, we closed out at 3 months of effective availability in single-family homes, which was up 1% from September and 21.6% from the prior year. And you had mentioned that we
Yeah.
had a very big shortage in inventory last year. And then the time on the market of 30 days or less, that was up 61.5%. Oh, I changed page. 61.5% from the prior month in September and 67.2% from the prior year. And the reason why those the time on the market of 30 days or less is up this year is rates were looking a little more attractive in the beginning of October.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, we did have a little bit of a rate drop or seen a drop in mortgage rates at the
Yeah.
beginning, and then towards the end of October, they went back up again. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a full explanation.
Yeah.
And that might be why it was really quiet a couple weeks before the election is rates started really going back up at a much more of a rapid pace than I preferred.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like they were in the 5s, and then all of a sudden we were almost at 7s. It was
Right.
almost overnight.
yeah.
So it was celebration, and then, don't too soon to celebrate. Yeah. So, Mike, if anybody does want to get a hold of you and talk more about market inventory, things like that, and you're a broker.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, give me a call, 702-286-3434. Also, if you're an agent and you're looking for a change in your business, you want somebody that's going to give you full broker support 7 days a week. Agents get paid within 24 hours of closing. Give me a call.
That's always a good thing. We want to get paid.
Yes.
And we want to get paid quickly. Yes. And if you are watching our show, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about the show. Tune in next week. We're going to have a new co-host joining us. So we're looking forward to having her on. And I am Trish Williams. If you guys want to reach me, you can contact me at 702-308-2878. And we will see you next week, Vegas. Thank you.